Hello and welcome back to Beckler Guitars and Repair, and today we've got an Epiphone on the channel. This is a fully hollow body Epiphone 2014 Casino in natural. Very similar to John Lennon's guitar. Let's check it out. So I picked this one up locally. It came in this really nice hard shell case. It's like new. Yeah, so this is a natural Casino, a 2014. And I used to own a similar guitar. It was an inspired by John Lennon Epiphone Casino. And I really liked that guitar. I sold it a while back, and I've been kind of watching the market for another one. But prices have really gone crazy on those. I think the average selling price for that is like over $2,000. And this guitar was actually built in the same factory as the inspired by John Lennon guitars in China. That's the Qingdao factory in China, and in 2014 they were making the inspired by John Lennon Epiphones and just the regular Casinos. And they're very similar in specs. The only difference between the two models is the John Lennon inspired Casino gets actual Gibson pickups. It gets a Switchcraft output jack, and it has different tuners. So the inspired by John Lennon Epiphone actually has the gold Grover tuners like he had on his guitar. But virtually everything else is identical. So I found this one for a pretty great price, and it's like in mint condition. There's not a mark on it. It's in really nice shape. And you can still find these Casinos, the same year, same factory, for a lot less than what the inspired by John Lennon versions are going for. So this is a fully hollow body guitar. So the difference between that and, like, say, an ES335 is an ES335 is considered to be a semi-hollow because it's got a wooden block running down the middle of the body. This one's like fully open. You get a lot more resonance out of it, but it tends to feed back a little easier if you're using like higher gain, distortion, that kind of stuff. And so this Casino is a natural finish. It's got a trapeze tailpiece, two-pneumatic style bridge. It's got two Epiphone P90 pickups. It's got that really cool raised E Epiphone pickguard that I really like. I think that looks really classy. Three-way pickup selector, two volumes, two tones. These are the top hat golden reflector knobs. This one has a rosewood fingerboard with pearloid parallelogram inlays. The neck is bound. It's got medium jumbo nickel frets. It's got a synthetic bone nut. It's got the small button tuners on there, and the vintage style Epiphone headstock with the E on the truss cover. Let's flip it around. And these are constructed very similar in the way of like a ES335, which is the poplar maple laminate sandwich style construction. And it's got really nice maple grain on the back. The back of the body is bound too, as well as the front. There's binding on the neck. This is a mahogany neck. And there's a look at our small button vintage style machine heads. Yeah, really nice looking guitar and in really excellent shape. Let's go ahead and get it on the bench and take a look at some of the specs. Very light guitar, weighing in at 6 pounds 4.9 ounces or 2.862 kilograms. Electronics seem to be working. I hadn't had a chance to plug this in yet, so that's good. On the bridge pickup, it's reading 11.93, and then on the neck pickup, it's a 12.06, and the middle is a 6.00. So let's have a look at the pickups. These are the standard Epiphone P90 pickups, which are the Alnico 5 magnet P90s, and they just have the Epiphone branding on the back. It says bridge pickups BHC on there. And yeah, looks pretty standard. In the cavity, you can see the 5-ply laminate. It goes maple, walnut, maple, walnut, maple, right there. And you can see there's no center block. This is a fully hollow body guitar. I'll take the endoscope out later and we can have a closer look on the inside. Let's take a look at the bridge pickup, which is more of the same. It's branded Epiphone, neck pickups, BHC. And another look at our sandwich construction. And then there you can see that's where our neck joint is right there. So it's fairly deep into the body. Different from like an ES335 because this joins at the 16th fret. And then on an ES335 I think it joins at the 19th, I believe. But anyway, so this is quite deep into the body. So it's kind of like a long neck tenon in a way. And here's a look at the bridge. It's labeled B2. Pretty standard 2-pneumatic style bridge. And then our bridge posts just go into the receivers in the body there. Here's a look at the trapeze tailpiece. Basically your strings just mount in the back, and then this just fits into this little clasp at the back there, and it's held on by the tension of the strings. One thing I didn't notice before is there's actually thumb bleeders underneath these knobs, so that's kind of a vintage correct spec. And then here's a look at the pick guard. It's got that nice raised E. It's still got the plastic on the E. I didn't realize there was plastic on there. And then it's just a 3-ply white pick guard. And that just mounts to the body very similar to like a Les Paul. And then we've just got a little piece of plastic rubber casing there to protect the body from the pick guard and to give it a little bit of space. And here's how it looks without the pick guard. That's how John Lennon rocked it. You just have to deal with that one little screw hole there. But it looks nice either way. And one other difference this has than the John Lennon inspired one is the John Lennon inspired one just had a black washer around the switch that he added. So it's just pickups, machine heads, the output jacks is a switchcraft on the John Lennon inspired one, and just a black kind of a washer around the switch. So if you wanted to, you could switch all those out for well under the difference in price. Alright, let's have a look with our endoscope on the inside here. We can see our serial number. And then this is the upper horn area. It's nice and clean on the inside. Not a lot of glue squeeze out. You can see our up at the top in the middle, that's the basswood or basswood bracing. There's our heel block with the ground wire. There's our 3-way switch. Looks like the wiring's nice and neat. They're even using little sticky pads to keep everything nice and tidy. See if I can get a better look at the potentiometers there. There's a look at our other horn. Again, nice and clean. There's a look at the pots. So they're full-size pots. And there's a look at the output jack. If you look carefully, there's an Epiphone logo on the output jack there. And they're using the red box-style capacitors. And yeah, overall looks nice and clean on the inside. See if I can get a better look at the neck join. There it is. So yeah, very nice and clean on the inside. Looks good. Before we restring and set it up, let's have a quick look at the condition. There's not much to talk about because this guitar is in like near mint shape. I really like the headstock, the way it kind of tapers in on the veneer, and you can see the exposed maple or the mahogany underneath. That's pretty cool. It's got an actual mother of pearl inlay for the Epiphone logo. And check the truss rod, it works well. It's responsive, turns freely. And I just rehydrated the fingerboard. There's no fret wear at all. Frets are in nice shape. There's no fret sprout at all. Nice and smooth. And the body, there's no scratches or dings. This thing's in really nice condition. If you hold into the light, you can see like some slight handling marks, some surface scuffs, but no actual scratches or dings. On the back, same thing. There's no buckle worming or rash or wear. No scratches, no dings. The neck's in really nice shape. This is a slim taper D neck profile. So it's kind of flatter, not as rounded on the back. No marks or dings on the headstock or the neck. And there's a look at our small button machine heads. Yeah, so this guitar is in fantastic shape. It's a near mint. Width of the nut is a 1.71 or a 43.56 millimeters. And at the 12th fret, that's a 2.09 inches or a 53.06 millimeters. Neck depth at the first fret is a 0.84 or a 21.43 millimeters, and at the 12th fret that is a 0.93 inches or a 23.66 millimeters. And here's a look at the neck profile. So yeah, super flat D neck profile. It's still considered a slim taper, so it's a slim taper D. And yeah, it feels kind of, yeah, super flat on the back and a little bit wide. Alright, I managed to get a really nice setup on this guitar. So using my notched straight edge, you can see that there's very little relief in the neck. Just a little bar of light between the straight edge and the fingerboard, so that tells me that the neck is set nice and straight. And then here in the 3rd fret, when I use the 3rd fret, you see the string is resting just nicely against that 1st fret. So that tells me we've got nice low action in this area. We've got a well cut nut, and the neck is nice and straight. And then near the 12th fret, using a depth gauge, we can see that the low E is sitting at between a 0.75 and a 1 millimeter. And at the high E, it's just above, yeah, same thing, 0.75 to 1 millimeter. So very nice low action. And even though it's light, there is no neck dive on this guitar. It stays right where it should. Alright, I'm just going to go through the entire fingerboard to make sure there's no buzzing or fretting out anywhere. I like to speed up this part, but if you want to hear it in real time, just slow down your player to 25%. So yeah, very nice low action and no buzzing or fretting out anywhere. It is quite difficult to get up to these higher frets with the neck joint on this guitar. So it's difficult, but there's no buzzing or fretting out up there anyway. I'm just going to play it a little acoustically so we can hear what that sounds like. So yeah, very resonant and lots of sustain. It rings out for a really long time. Yeah, sounds really good. I'm plugged into my 1965 Fender Bassman, and we're going to be going through each position clean and then with a little bit of dirt. I'm going to be using a Jim Jones GTO overdrive, germanium overdrive for my overdrive pedal, and I'm using a Flint Strymon for a little bit of reverb. sounds great clean. Let's go ahead and try it out with a little bit of dirt. Alright, final thoughts on this 2014 Epiphone Casino in natural. Yeah, this is a really nice example. It's got, it's super lightweight, there's no neck dive, super easy to play, it's bends, no problem at all, and it's super nice and resonant. That's probably because it is a fully hollow body guitar. Now, that makes it a little difficult to handle distortion when you're playing with a little bit more gain. You really have to watch your palm muting. If you hear it getting out of control, you got to mute those strings a little bit with your palm to get it back under control. But you can get that really nice, like, on the edge of out of control kind of distortion, feedback kind of a sound. Really good for like bluesy rock kind of stuff. So you can really achieve that on this guitar. It sounds really good. I thought the pickup sounded really good. I have played the John Lennon inspired Epiphone that has the Gibson's pickups in there, and I think from memory that those did sound a little bit better than this. They were just a little bit more clear, a little bit more articulate. But these are, you know, Alnico 5 P90s from Epiphone, and they're nothing to sneeze at. They sound quite nice. I really enjoyed the neck more than I thought I would. Usually I like a big thick C, and this is a D profile, a really flat D, but it was quite comfortable to play like open chords and stuff like that. Really just fits in your hand quite nicely. Not so much for like the bendy stuff, but more for the open chords. It felt really, really comfortable. But yeah, I haven't got along with a D-shaped neck in a long time, and this one was quite nice. The other thing I didn't like about this guitar is, you know, just because of the neck joint, where it's at, it makes it very difficult to get to these higher frets. Like, you really have to be creative to get up there because it's quite difficult. So, not that I usually play up there in this style of guitar anyway that much, but it's a thing to know if you're considering a Casino over like a ES335 or something like that. And condition-wise, this guitar is in mint shape. There's not a scratch or ding on it. I mean, there's some very light, like surface level stuff, but yeah, in very, very nice shape. And it just looks great. It has that classic Casino look, very similar to John's guitar. And yeah, just super comfortable to play, super lightweight, and it sounds great acoustically or plugged in. I've just got too many hollow bodies at the moment, so if you're interested in this guitar, I'm going to have it up for sale on the Reverb page. But that's going to be it for today. Thank you for tuning into Beckler Guitars and Repair, and I'll have more for you really soon. Thanks a lot.